Your testosterone has been dropping about 1% every year since you turned 30, and the supplement aisle knows it. But here's the part the ads won't tell you. Out of 27 popular testosterone boosters reviewed in a 2023 systematic review across 52 clinical trials, only about 3 actually moved the needle in real men. One of them, at roughly 20 cents a day, pushed total testosterone up by around 96 nanograms per deciliter in 8 weeks. The other 24, you are paying for a story, so let's do what the label won't and put your money on the one that actually earns it. First, let's get honest about the timeline. Every bottle screaming "reverse your testosterone in 30 days" is selling you a fantasy that the trial data does not support. In nearly every well-run study, meaningful shifts in your total testosterone take 8 to 12 weeks, not 30 days. Your endocrine system is a slow-moving ship. It takes weeks for signals from your brain to reach your testes, weeks for cellular machinery to ramp production, and weeks for that new baseline to show up on a blood draw. So if you are shopping for a 30-day miracle, you are shopping in the wrong aisle. What you actually want is a supplement with real 8 to 12-week data behind it, so that when you test at week 12, the number moves, and a couple of these actually do that. The best documented winner is ashwagandha, specifically the standardized extract called KSM-66 at 600 milligrams a day. In the Wankhede trial from 2015, resistance-strained men took it for 8 weeks. Their total testosterone climbed by 96.2 nanograms per deciliter. The placebo group crept up by 18. That is roughly a 15% bump on top of whatever training was already doing, and it showed up as more strength and more muscle mass on the scale too. Cost around 15 to 25 cents a day, call it $5 to $8 a month. On a pure trial-to-cost ratio, nothing else in this category comes close. Now here's the caveat you want to hear before you click add to cart. Ashwagandha has real trade-offs. There are documented case reports of drug-induced liver injury. It can blunt cortisol so aggressively that some users describe feeling emotionally flat, and it interacts with thyroid meds, sedatives, and immunosuppressants. If you're pregnant, on thyroid medication, or on immune-suppressing drugs, this one is not for you without a doctor in the loop. The second contender with real human data is tongkat Ali, sometimes called eurycoma longifolia. In the Henkel 2014 trial, physically active seniors took 400 milligrams a day for 5 weeks and saw about a 15% jump in total testosterone. A 6-month trial in men with age-related low testosterone symptoms, what researchers call ADAM, showed improved erectile function and hormonal markers too. But this is where the supplement industry gets ugly. The active compound is called eurycomanone, and when an independent lab tested competitor products, they found anywhere from 0.13 to 4 milligrams of eurycomanone per dose. The standardized 10% extracts, by contrast, deliver 10 to 12 milligrams. On a cost per active milligram basis, the same shelf can range from 6 cents to $5.77, a 96-fold difference for what the label calls the same supplement. The rule is simple. If the label does not list eurycomanone percentage, put the bottle back. You want at least 2%, ideally 10%, and you want third-party heavy metal testing because the tongkat root pulls contaminants straight out of the soil. Here is a curveball that saves a lot of people a lot of money. Zinc and vitamin D only raise your testosterone if you are actually deficient. If your zinc is normal, another 30 milligrams a day is not going to boost anything. And the Gratz vitamin D trial, one of the cleaner studies out there, gave low testosterone men 20,000 IU of D3 per week for 12 weeks. The result, no direct rise in serum testosterone. Symptoms improved, energy improved, but the number on the lab report did not budge. So the honest translation is this: vitamin D and zinc are not testosterone boosters, they are deficiency correctors. And the only way to know if you are deficient is a blood test. A vitamin D level, a serum zinc, a ferritin, costs almost nothing at most labs, and it tells you whether these supplements will do a single thing for you. Now let's talk about a weird one that a lot of people miss: boron. In a small 2011 pilot by Wankhede, 10 milligrams of boron a day for 1 week increased free testosterone by 28% and dropped estradiol by 39%. Cost, 3 cents a day. The mechanism is different from ashwagandha or tongkat. Boron seems to lower a protein called SHBG, which normally grabs onto testosterone and locks it out of circulation. Less SHBG means more of your existing testosterone becomes bioavailable. Here's why that matters as you age. SHBG rises with age. So even if your total testosterone looks okay on paper, more of it is getting sequestered every year, and your free testosterone, the stuff your cells can actually use, keeps dropping. Boron's effect fades with longer use, so this is not a forever supplement, but as a short-course tool it is dirt cheap and it has real, measurable data behind it. Now the one you might be waiting for, Fadogia agrestis. If you have listened to a certain very popular podcaster, you have heard this pitched as part of the ultimate stack. Here's what the evidence actually shows. Zero published human trials, not a small trial, not a flawed trial, none. The entire hype cycle traces back to a single 2005 rat study from one lab that has never been independently replicated. And in those same rat studies, higher doses caused damage to the kidneys, the liver, and the testicles, the very organ you are supposedly trying to support. Meanwhile, the going rate is 80 cents to $1.20 a day, roughly $25 to $36 a month, for a compound with no human safety data and possible organ toxicity. This is the clearest skip in the category. A podcaster's endorsement is not evidence. And while we're clearing shelf space, add Tribulus terrestris to the skip pile. The 2025 systematic review found no consistent testosterone effect, and about half the trials were low quality. Here is the part that makes the more is better crowd uncomfortable. A 2024 review found that testosterone follows a U-shaped survival curve. Both very low and very high testosterone are associated with worse outcomes. The men with the highest coronary artery calcium scores in one low cardiovascular risk population were the men in the highest testosterone turtle. And a Lancet Healthy Longevity meta-analysis on testosterone replacement therapy flagged real cardiovascular signals. So getting your testosterone from tank to normal, that helps. Trying to push a normal number into supraphysiological territory, that is where the risk-reward flips against you. The goal is not maximum testosterone, the goal is optimal testosterone, and optimal for most men is the middle of the normal range, not the ceiling. So let's put this together into something you can act on today. Before you buy anything, get baseline labs, total testosterone, free testosterone, SHBG, LH, vitamin D, zinc, ferritin. This is $60 to $100 and it turns guessing into strategy. Then fix the free wins first. Sleep under 7 hours crushes testosterone. Body fat over 25% converts testosterone into estrogen. These move the needle more than any pill. If you are a healthy man under 45 who wants the single best cost-to-evidence supplement, pick ashwagandha KSM 66 at 600 milligrams a day for 8 weeks. If you are over 45 with age-related low libido, pick tongkat Ali standardized to at least 2% eurycomanone, ideally 10% at 200 to 400 milligrams a day for 8 to 12 weeks. If your blood work shows a vitamin D or zinc deficiency, fix that before you spend another dollar on anything fancier. If you want a cheap short-course free testosterone bump, boron at 10 milligrams a day for 1 to 2 weeks is the play, then take a break. Cycle everything 8 weeks on, 2 to 4 weeks off. There is no long-term safety data beyond 12 months for most of these. And critically retest at week 12. If the number has not moved on your blood work, the supplement is not working for you and you stop paying. That is the entire honest playbook. If this saved you from wasting money on a bottle that was never going to work, hit like and subscribe so the next evidence-based breakdown finds you. Since testosterone shifts show up in your sleep, recovery, and body composition long before a lab draw, Vegetabla tracks those signals from your wearable and projects where your sleep, exercise, and biometric scores are heading in 12 weeks. See your own numbers at vegetabla.com.